A lot of people have been comparing COVID with a simple flu. And in some way, I would agree that they are similar in the first stages because COVID is definitely a whole different animal. What happened was the week prior to me going to the hospital, I was having recurring fevers. And then I developed diarrhea. And then the worst was when I had difficulty in breathing. So that was the turning point. That was when we said I needed to go to the hospital because at that point, my lips were turning blue. The admitting physician, when he saw me, he immediately wheeled me into the emergency room, hooked me to an oxygen machine because the oxygen saturation in my blood at that point was around 80%, when in fact we should be at least 95 to 100. And on the third day, they actually had me tested. It came out negative. And then they had me take another swab test. The second swab test, I was positive. At that point, they said, I need to get intubated. I was scared because I knew that if I got intubated, I would have one foot in the grave. It was scary because when the sedative started wearing off, one of the first things that I did notice was the tube that was rammed down my throat. And it hurts. It really hurts. And it felt that someone was choking. It was that horrible because they would need to go in 5-7 times a day to suction off the liquid, the condensation that was in the tubes. And it would cause me to start feeling that I was drowning. And it felt like a mini drowning each time that happened. But I'm gonna fight this. I ran marathons, so I know the limits of my body. My mindset was to beat it. First few days, I was doing that. Third day, I gave up. And somehow, when my mind said that, the body followed. It was weird, losing color, losing sound, and everything slowing down. I'm not a believer of life after death, actually, but for me, I think it was a near-death experience. They told me when I lost consciousness, maybe my body took over that self-preservation instinct, and without my mind overthinking it, it started to relax, and from there, it gave me another chance. And lo and behold, 9 days, they said, we're gonna remove the tube now. And at one go, he yanked the tube out of my throat. And from then on, that boosted my fighting spirit. It said, okay, let's do this. So even though that I was out of the ventilator, my lungs were so physically weak. Each breath was so hard to do. But each day, I was getting better, I was getting stronger. And on the 10th day, they had me retake another swab test, and the results were negative. And that was huge because at that point, I really fought off COVID. I survived COVID.